in this shit like Will. Now you on me, get you killed. That's a metaphor for the skill. Ain't no metaphor for the real. Under influence of the pill. Majority of rappers on the bill. Bullshit raps I don't feel. Y'all the main course on the meal. Followers be up in the mills. Probably got a house up on the hills. Probably getting a lot of riches, a lot of whips, and I can barely manage how to pay the bills. But I still be up in the studio, and my son eating good, so nutritional. Wish I could follow suit, but I tell it to the crew, so I gotta eat these rappers, I just let them know.
Everybody know me, 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 everybody know me.
We are back. Short hiatus from the series finale, but we're back with episode 7, and I got my guy NFE from the Strike Zone in the building. What's good, brother?
Chilling, man. It's always a good day when the Yankees win, especially when they take the series. You know, they take 2 out of 3. I'm happy. I'm in a good mood.
Absolutely. And that makes 3 series wins in a row for our New York Yankees. Before we get into it, make sure you guys subscribe to my guy NFE. The link is pinned. I just dropped the link again, but it's also pinned in the comment section. Like I said, I can't make it any easier for you guys. My guy just hit over 1,600 on the road to 2K. Congratulations, dude.
I appreciate the kind words. You're almost there yourself, man. You ain't too far away.
We'll get there before you know it. But shout out to a couple people in the building. Jay, first person in the building, says, let's go Yankees. Sucks that this might be one of my last ones on StreamYard. I've been talking to Jason Custodio. He'll be popping on Sunday.
Okay.
I'm thinking about making that transition very soon over to StreamYard. I just don't like how the emojis don't show up. But thank you to Jay for popping in. Jacob Petruzzi for dropping a link. Desiree from over there at NFE's channel. I appreciate you guys. All right. So the Yankees take another series. That makes it 3 series wins in a row, an impressive series versus the Padres. Then we took one versus the A's, and this one was another good one. A Mariners team that coming into this game was a half a game behind the New York Yankees. If they would have won today, they would have taken over the second best record in the AL, but the Yankees keep that here. A good series win. Like I said, we're going against a very good team. What were your thoughts going into this series? Like, how important was taking this series before you? Because I fully understand this next series, we know what's happening. It's easy to just look ahead and say, I can't wait to get to there, but you got to deal with this series first. So what were your thoughts about that?
Well, I mean, the series against Seattle, I mean, it was just another West Coast game. So, you know, whenever the Yankees go out on their West Coast trips, you want them to come back victorious. You know, you want them to come back with a winning record, right? So, and that's exactly what they did. They went in, they came out of it with a 4-2 record. I will take that all day, every day on a West Coast trip, because those West Coast trips are a pain for when it comes to the New York Yankees. So sometimes they don't come out of it the greatest. But the series against Seattle, I just knew that it wasn't going to necessarily be easy, particularly with today's game. And then there was also last night's game, because they were, you know, they faced 2 really good pitchers in Brian Wu and Castillo. Castillo, I was definitely a little bit more concerned about, because I thought, okay, maybe the Yankees might drop that series, and I don't know how Will Warren was going to do, but we just saw what Warren did. But I thought they would have done a little bit of a better job against Brian Wu, and it's not to take anything away from Wu. I knew he was going to be a challenge. I knew, you know, the game was going to be low scoring, but the Yankees, you know, came through when they had to, and you know, took away the series win. I mean, sometimes these wins aren't pretty. Sometimes they're a little, you know, sometimes it's not always picture perfect. But hey, you know, at the end of the day, a win is a win. I'll take it.
Absolutely. This was another series, man, where I'm just at the point, dude, where I'm grateful for the win, but I'm tired of saying we should have swept this team. This was another one that game 2, we'll get into the game breakdowns, but just like in the previous series, I felt like, one or two things go our way, one or two big hits, and we might be looking at another sweep and, a 9-game winning streak potentially. But, that's not the case, but the Yankees do take 2 out of 3. Like you said, though, we were going to get some really good pitching. That's why game 1 was imperative that the Yankees take game 1. And the bats came out and exploded with 11 runs down early in game 1. 1-0 off of Julio Rodriguez home run. Trent Grisham strikes in the 3rd inning with a little bit of an assist from Julio Rodriguez. It hits off the top of his glove, a little a la Jose Canseco, and it bounces over the wall. They tie it up, but a 6-run 5th inning that the Yankees the offense just exploded in the 5th inning with 6 runs. They added some more. Didn't really look back. 11-5 ball game. Anthony Volpe caps it off with a solo home run. With a 3-run home run and 2-run home run. And that pretty much puts the nail in the coffin right there. What were your thoughts on game 1 with Clark Schmidt on the bump? Because I'm gonna tell you this. I actually tweeted right when Clark Schmidt gave up the solo home run. I was like, okay, you know what happens. But when he gave up that home run in response to the 3rd, I was kind of like, man, Clark Schmidt has not impressed me this year. And then he shut me up by giving us a nice quality start. What were your thoughts on not just this game, but Clark Schmidt's performance?
Clark Schmidt, it was another good performance. He's one of those guys that, he starts off really slow and he may give up a couple of runs, but then he finds his rhythm. He's just one of those pitchers. And he still had a very solid outing. Remember, his last outing against the Padres, personally, that's where I thought he was going to suck, right? That he was going to have a bad game against the Padres, but he held his own against that Padres lineup. Coming into this Mariners game, you never know what you're going to get out of Clark Schmidt, but he held his own. He held his own against that lineup. I believe he still went 6 strong innings in that game too, or did he go 5?
6. He went
6. Okay,
6 innings, 3 hits given up, 6 Ks, 2 home runs, 2 walks.
Yeah. So despite giving up those 2 home runs, he still kept the team in the game. He still kept his composure. He found his rhythm. That was another solid start by Clark Schmidt. I think he's based on those, back-to-back starts, it seems like he's looking a little bit more comfortable on the mound right now. And when you give him the run support, it's gonna just motivate him to be better, which the Yankees have been doing a better job of giving these starters some run support, because you hate when the starters go out with having only a 1-run lead. It does put a lot of pressure on a pitcher. It just does. So this is where it becomes really important for the bats to come through. So good job to Clark Schmidt in that game. He looked phenomenal.
Yeah, absolutely. I think. I'm looking at the bullpen stats too. Not a good game from Tim Hill. Tim Hill, as of late, has kind of been struggling. But Mark Leiter Jr. gave us a strong inning.
Yeah.
Devin Williams got us a big out in that game before we ended up tacking on more runs, and then Ian Hamilton shut it down. I know once Devin Williams came in and I started playing that Devin Williams sound effect, people started getting nervous, but he gave up 1 hit up the middle, another soft contact hit, but he ultimately shut it down. This makes like 6 out of, I think it's 5 out of the last, no, it's 6 out of the last 7, even though it was only 1 out. 6 of the last 7 outings from Devin Williams where he's been scoreless and looks really good. What have been your thoughts on Devin Williams in this little stretch?
Yeah, Williams has looked good in a non-closer situation, right? He had that one rough outing in that Padres series in one of those games. I think it was game one. It was game 1. He had a little bit of a rough outing. But then in that finale in that Padres series, he came up big. He came through in the clutch, came up big time. So Williams, outside of that one, crappy outing against the Padres, he's been pretty solid. I'm sure, the Yankees would like to get him back into that closer role. That's why they traded for him. Luke Weaver being the setup man and Williams being the closer. But I don't know. We'll see what the Yankees do. But I'm just going off of what Boone was saying. But I think you need to still build him up, let him build him back up, and let him have like more solid outings like this, and hopefully he can get that confidence back, and the Yankees can plug him into that closer role back again, and he can be the lights out closer that we all know, And it's not like this guy's had a bad career. It's just he's had a rough start with the Yankees for one reason or another. It's just been pretty rough on him so far, but historically, he's always done well. So. This could just be one of these things that maybe he just needs to tighten things. He needs to tighten things up, and it's a new team, new environment. So playing for the New York Yankees, never an easy thing to do. So hopefully he can get back to that closer that we all know that he can be, that he is. But I still think that I liked what he's been doing so far. He just needs. I think you need to give him more time and have him still have outings like this to build his confidence back up.
Yeah, it's a good problem to have. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, Williams look good as of late. As of right now, I think I'm good with keeping it the way it is, because if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You're still going to you're still going to need him in high leverage situations, along with Fernando Cruz. And you and I both know that we're getting some reinforcements back on top of that. Jonathan Loaiza could be joining the team as early as next week. Right after him could be Jake Cousins. So Yankees are getting some help for a overused bullpen, definitely, because like when you got guys like Clark Schmidt going out there, when you got guys like Will Warren, like we saw today, those are two guys that have a lot of question marks. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are both guys that I say do well the first and second time through the order. The third time they tend to struggle. This was the opposite with Clark Schmidt this time. You know what I'm saying? He didn't get through through the order the first couple times, but then he settled down. You know what I'm saying? So everything that Clark Schmidt has kind of gone through, like I said, injuries, setbacks, you know what I'm saying, kind of getting things ramped up. This is kind of like, for what we've seen before, it's kind of like his spring training, even though he did get some rehab starts. But, you know what I'm saying, he's kind of getting ramped up, and ultimately we just need him. We don't need him to be, you know what I'm saying, a top-end rotation guy. We need him to be that solid middle to the back end of the rotation until a guy like Luis Hill comes back and stuff like that. And so far, Clark Schmidt, there were times, like I said, I haven't been impressed. You know what I'm saying? He's got a 4.73 ERA. I like that ERA to come down a lot. But like I said, he's getting ramped up. And overall, you know what I'm saying, he gave us a good start. But, the offense showed out. Yeah,
I mean, with Clark Schmidt, it's, again, he missed some time. He didn't really have too much of a spring training because he was hurt. And so he had to ramp back up. He had his rehab outings, right, before he came back on the roster, before he was added back to the roster. So, yeah, first few starts he's going to struggle a little bit. I mean, it's normal, right? I mean, and he's not a top of the line pitcher. I mean, we all know that. I mean, he's a number 3, number 4 guy in the rotation. That's what he is. And as long as he can have productive outings, if he's able to give the Yankees 5 or 6 innings every game, to me that's a win. To me, that's a big win for the Yankees. That's a big win for Clark Schmidt. If he can have solid outings like that consistently in every game he pitches, I'm not gonna have any complaints about Clark Schmidt, and he can keep the team in the game too while he's having those outings as well. So,
yeah. Absolutely. Make sure you guys hit that like button, guys. If you guys are new to the channel, hit that subscribe, hit that notification button to both channels, as we're both on the road to 2K. All right, so moving on to game 2. Good old-fashioned pitchers duel. You know what I'm saying? I knew, right out the gate when I seen Wu versus Max Fried, I was saying it all throughout the channel. Take the unders. For all my betting people, take the unders. Take the scoreless innings. I guarantee you'll hit in more than you won't. And, this was a great pitching matchup. I said whichever pitcher, blinked first was probably going to take the L. Unfortunately, that was Max Fried, who blinked first, I should say. Cal Raleigh kind of got him with a double. Yankee bats didn't get going to the 9th. Andres Munoz comes in. Great pitcher, great closer.
Yeah.
We got him his second blown save, but his first earned run of the season, with Anthony Volpe, reaching on a fielder's choice error, you know what I'm saying, where you kind of gotta, we took it, you put the ball in play, good things happen. We go into extra innings yet again, where the Yankees tend to struggle. I don't understand why. Well, I know why. I understand. I have my opinion, but I do want to know what yours is. Why we tend to struggle so much in extra innings under the Boone era. And the Yankees ultimately end up dropping this game off of a walk-off JP Crawford 2-run line drive single, and you know what I'm saying, the Yankees take a L. What were your thoughts on the pitching performance by Max Fried? You know, this is the first loss that the Yankees have had with Fried on the mound. Fried didn't get the loss though. He's still undefeated on the year, and the ERA is still very very low. He looked really good. But what were your thoughts on the performance of the bats being sleepy in Seattle and Max Fried?
I mean, you know, Max Fried, was that his greatest outing? No, but I mean, he still got the job done in a way because he only gave up the 1 run. You know, he still did his job, still kept the team in the game. This was more on the bats. We knew that game 2 was going to be a low scoring game. I didn't think it was going to be this bad though. Like, I didn't think it was going to be like 2-1.
What did you think it was going to be?
4-3.
I thought it was gonna be like 4-3. Oh, same, yeah.
Yeah, 4-3 at the very best, right? I mean, 4-3, maybe 5-4, right? But I think 5-4 might be pushing it. But I think 4-3 would probably sounds more reasonable because it was, you know, again, Fried versus Wu. You know, it was definitely a pitcher's duel, and you know, I knew the Yankees bats were not going to have an easy time with Brian Wu, and Brian Wu did his job. And you know, I know the Yankees bats had opportunities, but and they couldn't capitalize. But you know, once again, you know, Brian Wu, I knew he was a good pitcher. I knew he was going to be able to hold his own. I thought the Yankees would be able to score a run off of him at least 1 run. But you know, unfortunately, you know, he just held the bats. He just owned the bats. You know, in that game. As far as extra innings go, you were asking me about that. Like, ever since they implemented the ghost runner rule, the Yankees have been horrendous. Or else, you know, prior seasons, prior years, I mean, the Yankees weren't always this bad during extra innings. I just think that ever since they implemented the extra or the ghost runner rule, they've been terrible. Why that is, I don't know. I don't know if they're just not pinch hitting the right guys and the right opportunities, if they're not putting in the right pitchers at the right time. But you know, I think with, you know, whatever, you know, I think with their situational choices, they need to do a better job. I think, I mean, that's what I'm seeing with these extra inning games. I think it's just like they're simple little things that they could be doing better, but they're not. You know, if the Yankees have their ghost runner on second, for example, there's not really a lot of times where they're like bunting to get the guy to third, and then, you know, stuff like that, like small ball, like get a little bit more small ball. I get you want to get that hit and score the guy, but sometimes you got to play a little bit more small ball, and I think that's where what something that the Yankees need to do more of. I would like to see more of it. But yeah, like I said, ever since the ghost runner rule, it's just been a foregone conclusion for this team. And you know, for the record, I hate the ghost runner rule. I understand why Major League Baseball did it, why Manfred did it, but I still hate it. I just don't like it. I think they could go about it a different way with the ghost runner rule, but I don't think it should be done in the 10th inning. And I've had some subscribers say that, and it was actually a great suggestion. But yeah, I just think that they're not they're losing these games because they're constantly thinking, you know, big hit, big home run, you know, and then they, you know, they don't capitalize. But you know, how many games have we seen where they have runners on second and third even before they get to extra innings, and they get 1 run if they're lucky. So
well, it's because it's like the approaches are like the reason why I think we struggle. And even though Boone got ejected from this game, so you know this one wasn't on him, but it's mismanagement in my opinion. Like you got a runner, and the ghost runner really does benefit the home team, because like when you know exactly how many runs you either need, and if you shut them down, you got a chance to win the game off of 2 productive outs. It's as simple as that. So you can't go up there with the Manfred man on second when you're the away team and not put the ball in play. It's as simple as that. Volpe won it. Volpe got us going because he put the ball in play. You know what I'm saying? Anything could happen. The baseball gods are cruel. You know what I'm saying? Also, shout out to, we didn't talk about it in the first game, shout out to Oswaldo Cabrera. Hopefully, you know, praying for a speedy recovery on him. But the baseball gods are cruel, man. This is the first time we got to see DJ LeMahieu in extra innings. And what does he do? Strike out with the Manfred man on second, and now you're already behind the 8 ball. At the very least, you got to hit that ball to the right side, move that runner over to third. Productive outs can get you runs in. And then it's just constant mismanaging where you get, like, let's say we don't score in the top of the frame, right? There's no need. If I was the manager, I would always walk that first batter to put the double play in order, because that run means nothing. The runner at second is now the winning run. We don't do it. We tend to face guys, and more often than not, it comes to bite us in the ass. And like you were saying, playing small ball. Look at what they were doing in extra innings. Beautiful bunts, moving guys over. You know what I'm saying? Productive outs. That's how you're supposed to win when it comes to that. Like, do you want to have a big inning? Sure. Everybody does. But in extra innings, it's unlikely that you're going to have those 3-4 run innings. Maybe 1 or 2, yeah. But 3 or 4, no. So it's like the Yankees got to start putting the ball in play in those situations. Sometimes I think when situational at-bats happen, they get nervous. You know what I'm saying? Because then everybody starts breaking out of their swings and mechanics. I'm just like, yo, what are we doing up there? Shout out to Jason Custodio. What up, man? Says they get the strikeout bug, like Ace says. Absolutely. Yeah, everybody goes up there just hacking, golf swings, all that stuff. So, the Mariners got us. Go ahead.
No. The only thing I was going to say was, like, the first time I saw them do anything that was relevant to what we're talking about was in that final game against the Padres in extra innings. Yeah. Cabrera laid down that bunt. Escara hit that ball to left field, got the sac fly, scored the winning run. I'm like, okay, why can't we do this? I know it's not always easy, but like we got to see more of this. So yeah, but
it also depends, like, because small ball is other ways besides just bunting. But in these situations, there's not a lot of players in this team that can bunt. Volpe, Cabrera, he's no longer playing. Who else do you trust? Reyes, maybe. Peraza, maybe. Wells isn't bunting. We damn sure know Aaron Judge ain't bunting.
Oh, no,
you know what I'm saying? That type of stuff. So we don't have a lot of those players on this team. So that's why Boone does have to manage things differently. The little things, like I said, you hit, runner on second, nobody else. You got to make sure that runner advances to third. Inside out swing, hit the ball to the right side, advance to third, or a sac fly, or putting the ball in play, like we saw what happened in the 9th inning, can tie the ball game. It's as simple as that. Like, too many times we mismanaged, and this feels like another game that got away. This was a great performance by Max Fried, much like you said earlier. Fried didn't feel like he had it, but true to an ace form, he figured it out. Yeah. Because his pitch count was high, but he kept us in the game. Only made the one mistake, but gave us enough to win. But we went against a really good pitcher. Ultimately, like I said, Fried didn't come down with the loss, but unfortunately, the Yankees lost this game. Moving on to game 3, the rubber match. Will Warren versus Luis Castillo. Luis Castillo is a guy that has had a lot of success against the Yankees. When I saw this matchup, I said it was going to be tough. It was going to be a game that the Yankees had to earn. And Will Warren couldn't afford to make a lot of mistakes out the gate. Julio Rodriguez, the big inning for them came in the 3rd inning off of DJ LeMahieu error. He was charged with the error, but realistically, I think I lean more towards Ben Rice. You can't lean off of first that much, especially as somebody that just got back and Will Warren was calling for the ball, and in typical Yankee fashion, we're giving them extra outs, and then bases end up being loaded. Julio Rodriguez with a big hit. Trent Grisham saved 2 more runs in that inning. If not, that would have been a 4-run inning, if not more. Yankee bats mostly quiet until the 6th inning. Will Warren held us in there with a career high 9 strikeouts. He looked pretty good. Yeah. He looked pretty damn good. Yeah. But then back-to-back doubles by Volpe and Dominguez get the Yankees started. Paul Goldschmidt with a pinch hit home run. Boone dialed the right numbers. First pitch home run. And then the captain, number 99, Aaron Judge with the go-ahead home run. Then Luke Weaver comes in, seals the game. Yankees take the W. What were your thoughts overall on this game and the performance by Will Warren?
I'm very happy for Will Warren, man, because I know, early on in the season, he's had some struggles. And, as I always say, you can't, you got to manage your expectations with rookies, right? And I know everybody was already like, oh, I'll send him back down. This guy sucks. He shouldn't be in the rotation. It's just like, well, okay, Yankees fans, let's make up our minds. You say play the young guys, and then you give them an opportunity. It's like, nah, don't play them. It's like, I don't know if this guy's the answer. He's looked pretty good so far. I mean, he looked good against the Athletics. He looked good against what I would say not a bad team in the Mariners. I mean, the Mariners got some guys in that lineup that can hit. He held his own. He career high 9 strikeouts, only walked the one batter. He gave up a couple of runs, but still, whenever the Will Warren that we've seen before prior to to other games, he gives up the 2 runs. He might be pitching a good game, and then all of a sudden he starts to struggle, and then now he's giving up 3 or 4 runs. It's remember when him and Carrasco were in the rotation together, it was just an absolute struggle for both of them. But Warren found his. I think he's getting a little bit more comfortable there on the mound. He went toe to toe with Castillo, who's a really good pitcher. I mean, I don't know. This could be a turning point for Will Warren, and I think he's slowly coming around. I think he looks a little bit more confident out there on the mound. From what I saw today, he kept his composure. He kept cool. I don't know. To me, I had for as far as like today's game goes, I would say for me he was the player of the game. I mean, I know the bats came through at the right time, but I still say Will Warren was the player of the game because of how he performed against this Mariners team, and he went toe to toe with Castillo. So shout out to Will Warren.
Absolutely. The pitching in general shut it down. 15 strikeouts of the 27. 9 by Warren, 1 by Matzik, 2 by Hamilton, and 3 by Weaver. Weaver comes in and strikes out the side, after not pitching he pitched the day before, which I was kind of against. I was like, bro, what if we need him tomorrow? But considering he hadn't pitched in almost a week, Boone throws him out there, and he does exactly what he's supposed to do. Fernando Cruz looked amazing on top of that again. Cruz looks good. The bullpen looks solid. The bats came through just when they needed to come through. I wish they would get this shit going earlier, in the first half of the game. But, they showed up when it mattered. Three straight innings with 1 run, and that was the difference in the ball game. We ended up with 9 hits total. Jason Dominguez looks really good, man. Coming off that Oakland series, he did sit 1 game, but this kid is starting to heat up, man. Anthony Volpe, too. We got a lot of, we'll be talking about that in the standout, but this was a good series win. Will Warren impressed me with this one. It's one of those things where I'm like, okay, because Will Warren is either he's good, he's bad, he's good, he's bad. He's like consistently inconsistent, but he came through and he shoved against a good team. Like this Mariners team, this could be a potential playoff matchup. That West is kind of wide open. So far, the Mariners are the 3rd best team in the AL, but we did the damn thing and we closed it out and we did just enough to win, especially the lineup considering like the bottom third of the lineup when you had DJ, Escara, and Vivas, like that doesn't really scare you. So you kind of knew like Will Warren was going to have to keep it close. And for the most part, he did. So I was very impressed with him.
Yeah, no, he looked fantastic out there. I wasn't sure how he was going to perform. He went 6 innings or I want to make sure I'm right on this.
Yeah, no, 5 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk, 9 Ks.
Still
ERA's down to 4.61.
Cool. I mean, ERA slowly but surely coming down, giving the Yankees 5 innings. I mean, once again, what more can you ask for? And you talked about Jason Dominguez. It says there was somebody put out a tweet. I don't know how recent it was. I think it might have been today, but it says you might have seen it. It says Jason Dominguez AL rookie ranks this season, minimum 75 plate appearances. He's first in home runs with 5, 19 ribbies, 13 extra base hits. So first in home runs, second in RBIs, and we're talking American League rookies, mind you. So first in home runs, second in ribbies, 13 extra base hits. He's first in that. 463 slugging. He's second in that. OPS plus is 127. He's second in that. And then a 0.9 WAR, and he's tied for second in that. So I thought I'd share that piece of little information. So because it's a little group chat that I'm in, somebody posted that, so felt like I needed to share it. So good numbers like Dominguez.
Yep, rookie year. After that 3 home run performance, that'll definitely help. The confidence is up there. The Yankees have a tough situation because we know the influx of outfielders. You got Grisham that's playing well. Bellinger's starting to heat up. You have Aaron Judge, obviously, and you have Jason Dominguez. And then before long, hopefully, Giancarlo Stanton's going to be back before we know it. So it's like everybody keeps saying it. I wouldn't want to be Boone. I really wouldn't. Like, who are you gonna play out there? You know what I'm saying? Like, I talked about it a couple times. I like everything that's going on, but when it comes to Trent Grisham, like, it scares me because it feels like fool's gold, not in the way of it doesn't feel fake, but I just know that he's not our future. You know what I'm saying? And every game that he plays over Jason Dominguez is hindering Jason Dominguez's development, you know what I'm saying, at getting playing time every day. But the kid is still going out there and performing, you know what I'm saying? He's doing what he has to do. Defensively, he's been, no one's talking about it defensively, which is great. You don't need to mention it, you know what I'm saying? He's not making a lot of mistakes out there. He's playing solid defense out there. And he's the reason, some of the reasons why we're winning games. Big hit today in today's game. You know what I'm saying? Volpe a double. He got us started with a line shot double down the right field line. You know what I'm saying? Got us started. So Dominguez is coming up big. A lot of Yankee youth are coming up big. Rice, Volpe, he's starting to get hot. Dominguez, Austin Wells. I feel like Austin Wells is right on the cusp. I really do. Because when he hits the ball, he's hitting it hard. I feel like he's right on the cusp of it. Will Warren's pitching very well. Yankees got something good going here, and now we just got our 25th win, and we head into a big series.
Yeah, and I don't think Dominguez's development is being hindered. Honestly, if it was, I think he'd be riding the bench way more. You know what I mean? I don't think you would be seeing him play as much. The Yankees really want this guy to play. So if his performance is looking really good, he's getting the playing time. He's getting a lot of playing time actually. So if he wasn't, you'd probably only see him play 2 games a week. That's what you would see with Dominguez, because we've seen what the Yankees have done with players in the past. I mean, but that's a conversation for a different day. But they're obviously they're confident in Dominguez. I think they obviously they like him. He's going to be the future. He's the future of this team. I like Trent Grisham, but I don't think, whatever he does for the Yankees this season, I'll be grateful. But I'm right there with you. I don't think there's a future for him on this team. I think it's inevitable that he will be somewhere else next season. But in the meantime, you know what? I'm going to enjoy every second of Grisham making his plays in the outfield, smashing the crap out of those balls. I mean, just making it happen.
Definitely. We're gonna be wrapping this up. We're gonna make this a quick show because I know you're itching to go watch your Knicks.
Oh, you better believe it, man.
Up by 1 at the end of the first quarter. But I do appreciate you for coming on. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe. Give me your series standout, and then I do want to ask you one random question. But go ahead, give me your series standout.
One random question, man. Now you got me curious. But my standout, honestly, man, I'm gonna give it to Will Warren. I'm going to give it to Will Warren, man, because, once again, he came through. We weren't, there was question marks, right, going into today's game. Was he going to be able to go toe-to-toe with Castillo? He did. Was he going to be able to keep the team in the game and give the Yankees the outing? He did. So, for me, it's Will Warren. I think with as much criticism as he's been getting, I think he deserves the praise.
Nice.
So I'll go Will Warren, man.
Who do you think I'm going with?
Dominguez?
Nope. I'm actually going to go with Cody Bellinger. Cody Bellinger on a 10-game hitting streak.
Yeah, okay.
His bat is starting to come around. I'm going to show Cody Bellinger some love. Coming up with some timely hits. Like I said, 10-game winning streak is nothing to scoff at. A 10-game hitting streak is nothing to scoff at.
Yeah, he's coming around.
Like he's coming around, Like I really think that back was bothering him. Because it's the only answer to how do you get off to such a hot start in spring training, then your back acts up, and then you get off to a slow start. I'm putting 2 and 2 together. You know what I'm saying? It's simple math. You know what I'm saying? 2 and 2 doesn't equal 3 to me, equals 4. So I'm just like, that's got to be the issue. Maybe now that time is going by, his back is getting healthier, and a nice little 10-game hitting streak. That's nothing to scoff at. So also put down in the comment section, who do you guys think is your series standout? Who do you think is that needs to new segment I did last week with Hector called Step Up Next Series. Doesn't necessarily mean that they're playing bad, but who are you looking to take over next series as we're going against the Mets?
So any player to step up?
Mm-hmm. Jason says he's going to go with the bullpen. Cruz or Weaver, okay?
Hey, you're not wrong with that one. I mean, what player do I think needs to step up?
Or step up is the wrong word. What player are you looking to go off next series?
Go off next series. I'm trying to think, man, because like I'm trying to think of a player that needs to step up though. Still, like I'm trying to see. Let me look at this lineup here real quick. I'm gonna pull it up, man, because
DJ LeMahieu.
Well, I'm gonna give him some time. He just came back. You know what? Austin Wells.
I was about to say the same thing. Austin Wells.
Yeah. Austin Wells, because
I feel like he's right there. Like I feel like he's hitting the ball hard, but I feel like he's right there.
He's got to come up big, because he's been okay, right? He's been all right. I need him to step it up for sure. So hopefully he shines in the Mets series, which is going to be a freaking fun series. I cannot wait that Subway Series, man. But man.
Yep, Juan Soto's coming back to the Bronx, so I'm looking for Aaron Judge to go off. You know what I'm saying? Hit his league-leading home run. We need the cap to go off. Who do we have going? Rodon, Yarborough, and...
Because Warren pitched today, so yeah,
Schmidt.
It should be Rodon. Yeah, Rodon, Yarborough, Schmidt. That should be your rotation. Yeah,
and I don't think we're going against Clay Holmes, which is something I want to go against because we've been killing former Yankee pitching this year.
Yeah, they're not going up against Clay Holmes. Clay Holmes is not going to be pitching in that series.
Yeah, so that does recap the first West Coast series. These schedule makers really gave us 2 West Coast trips in one fucking month. It's crazy.
I know, man, because they're gonna come out here next week, which I'm going to all 3 of them.
Nice.
Yeah, I cannot wait. And then then they're gonna go. They're gonna go to LA to play against the Angels, and after that, I mean, who do they play after that? Do they have another West Coast?
Dodgers.
Oh yeah, the Dodgers. So they're going back-to-back LA teams. So yeah, like whoever made the schedule on that one, freaking ridiculous.
Assholes.
Yeah, big time.
So, all right. So the question I do want to ask you, because I've been getting asked this, and we had a great conversation about it in yesterday's stream. So I've given my thoughts on it. What were your thoughts on the Pete Rose stuff and the Hall of Fame change?
I mean, it's like you give him the Hall of Fame stat. I mean, I'm glad they changed it, but it's like you do it after he passes away. I don't know, man. It's like, I don't promote gambling, just for the record, because I'm not a gambler. I don't promote gambling, and I've known people that have had like addictions to gambling, and it's not great. What players do on their personal time, it's like, I guess it's their personal time, unless, if you sign a contract that says, hey, you're not allowed to, do this as part of your being part of the team. But, there's a lot of guys in baseball, a lot of teams. There's some teams in baseball that have gotten a slap on the wrist for things that they committed. How come some of these teams or players didn't get, they just get a slap on the wrist, man. They don't get penalized for what they've done. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's frustrating. I mean, listen, like I'm happy. I'm happy that he's in the Hall. They lifted it, but I think it's too. I mean, they did it way too late, clearly. So that's my take on it.
Yeah. I'm kind of right there with you. I've been saying it all weekend.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm mixed about it because I feel like Rob Manfred threw the fans a bone, but you change the rules to afterwards. Like any player now that has any sort of, any sort of issue that could mess up the integrity of the game won't get in till after they pass away.
Yeah.
It's kind of bullshit. Like it's great that you're acknowledging this, but it's still bullshit at the same time, because it's just like, did you really do this? You know what I'm saying? Like, do you really care? Like, why don't you? And we had a big conversation about it. So this means that guys like Bonds, A-Rod, Roger Clemens, all of them, and a bunch of others will get in after, their families will get to celebrate instead of them, you know what I'm saying, for their accomplishment type stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, it's It's terrible, man.
Yeah, look look at it now. It's like you see all these freaking betting commercials. So now there's all these parlays and blah blah. I don't understand betting, but now they're promoting the hell out of it. So you ban the guy from baseball. You didn't put him into the Hall of Fame for betting on the sport in the game, and now you're promoting the hell out of it because there's obviously money to be made there. So way to go, Major League Baseball.
Yeah, it's like, and I'm sure he patted himself on the back like, yo, people are gonna love this. I'm like, no doubt, Pete Rose should have been in the Hall of Fame, no doubt. You
100%.
Can't tell the history of baseball without Pete Rose. I said the same thing about Barry Bonds. He needs to be in there as well. They should just add it where it's like players that make it, put that asterisk next to their name or put them in a separate division. You know what I'm saying? But they should be in regardless. Don't just give the fans a bone, throw us a bone by being like, okay, we're gonna let him in, but now from now on afterwards, it's just bullshit to me.
Well, you got to figure too. I think Manfred's contract, I forget when it was up, but I think he has like 2 or 3 more years left being the MLB commissioner. So, he's trying to leave on a good note and being like, Manfred before he left, he changed some things, made some things right, but I'm not really gonna bite into that. So
I'd like to put my name in the hat for next commissioner. I have a lot of changes that I would love to do. First things first, Tampa Bay Rays, sorry, you gotta go to Puerto Rico. Second thing is we got a salary second thing is we got a salary cap floor now. Teams like Pittsburgh and stuff like that, y'all gotta start paying money. You know what I'm saying? Other thing is guys like that going into the Hall of Fame. Those are the changes I would make. Desiree says, yeah, it's total bullshit. Yeah, it is. It really is.
Well,
the thing is with Bonds, they won't vote him in. Rose, never on a ballot. Yeah, but now they have to be voted in afterwards. They're eligible, and then they have to be voted in. So who's to say the voters are going to go with it? You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially considering we had a big conversation about this in the last stream. Players in the 60s and 70s and 80s and early 50s, they were all doing drugs too. Like, it just, all that stuff doesn't make you, like, gambling's one thing.
Yeah, and they were drinking and doing drugs. I mean, Babe Ruth was like, they were saying Babe Ruth was always drunk at the games that he played. The dude was always under the influence. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, well, I appreciate you for coming on, man. That's going to wrap up episode 7 of the series finale with my guy, NFE. Next series finale will be Sunday after Sunday Night Baseball with my boy, Jason Custodio, who is in the building. Appreciate you. Make sure you guys subscribe to him. He said the whole 86 Mets were coked out of their mind. Yeah. And I'm sure they saw that ball coming in extra slow with everything they were on. Yeah, and stuff
I'm sure they got I'm sure they had Bobby Brown's contact information. Oops, wait, did I just say that? I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, right. No wonder they gave him that. Yeah, damn. So, but appreciate you, man. Make sure you guys subscribe to my guy NFE. The link is pinned in the comment section, so subscribe to him. Now we're on the road to the Mets, so it's gonna be a big series. And I can't wait for it. So make sure me and NFE will both be calling the games. Damn, the sky just opened up, start pouring here. Me and NFE will be calling the games. So make sure you subscribe to both channels. My guy, appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. I love doing these series recaps. I mean, this is the second one I've done with you. So looking forward to doing many more, man. This is a cool concept, cool idea that you have here. So
definitely.
Yeah, go Knicks. Let's go Knicks.
Yep. That's right. Good luck to the Knicks. Hey, I said this. I kind of want the Knicks to lose tonight only because Game 6 in New York, Yankees versus Mets. Bro, that'd be so lit for the city. Tell me that would.
It'd be extremely lit.
Yeah, but they'll probably finish it out tonight. What's the score before we get out of here? What is the score? Knicks are up 40-32, so that game might be over. So, yeah, GG's. They're not coming back with no Tatum. So, congratulations to the Knicks and good Yankee win, guys. We got to.
And then real quick, Tatum. I mean, I was so sorry for him getting hurt like that. I mean, I know he's Boston Celtics, but you never want to see a player go down like that. So, because that was disgusting the way that happened. But he was in agony. Looked like he was in tears, and I'm like, oh man.
Yep.
Never want to
beat them regardless, though. Like, I don't want Boston fans that were like, "Oh, we only lost because they were beating them regardless." That game was over before he got hurt.
Yeah.
So, and y'all were smacking them before. So injuries are part of the game. We've all dealt with it. You know what I'm saying? Simple as that. You know, speedy recovery to him. Also, speedy recovery, my guy, Oswaldo Cabrera. So, you know what I'm saying? Waldo's my guy. So let's go ahead and end on that note. I appreciate you, NFE. You're the man. Make sure you subscribe to him and subscribe to yours truly, the Ace Avenue. We are on the road to 2K. Let's get it. We're out of here. As always, thank you for tuning in to Ace Avenue. I'm yours truly, the Ace, with my guy, NFE from the Strike Zone. Adios.
Y'all take it easy. Thanks a lot.